And prepare for meditation. Okay, don't do it. Turn the lights back up. That was just for dramatic emphasis. I have forgotten the most important announcement of the day. I'm glad you're up here. We'll need your help. Are going strong. Okay, let's sing together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ollie. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Okay, deja vu. Let's turn the lights out. Take a deep breath, sigh it out, center ourselves. We close our eyes and turn within. And let's begin the inner journey by joining together in singing our Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
For thine, God, is the kingdom and the power and the glory of life forever. Take a deep breath and sigh it out and let go of the outer world. Let it spin around us as we turn within. To that place of deep peace within our being. Peace. Be still. And in the stillness underneath the outer expressions of life, we can feel that wonderful sense of well-being. We feel it in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, where we quietly know here deep within, no matter how the world spins around us, here within, all is well. All is well. And we let go of all doing and immerse ourselves in being. Just being here in this moment, in this sense of well-being. I am. Not I am this or that, simply I am. And something is calling to us from deep within our soul. I am. Peace, be still. Be still. And know I am God. And here within, flowing like a river from our soul, is a wonderful sense of peace and well-being. And we are immersed in the present. There is one presence and one power in my life and throughout this universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Peace, joy, and all goodness flow from my soul to fill me. And they fill me with content, the joy of being alive in this moment, right where I am. And as I now look outward, out at my life, I see myself living my daily activities with this deep contentment of my soul ever flowing through me. And whatever the world may present, my strength to face it flows from this peace within, and with it the knowledge all is well, whatever the appearance, all is well. Thank you, God. Amen. Hard. That's how he writes all his songs. Yes, he goes swimming when he writes his songs. No. It's inspiring. And they've asked me to announce that they're not leaving me as a boycott. They've already heard this. So they're going to go back and practice peace in Meyer Hall. They'll be back when it's time to sing. Embracing contentment. You know, that's something we all want, right? We would all like to be content with our lives. What's that mean? It means you're happy with where you are, not with where you're going. Now, I didn't say you're unhappy with where you're going. I'm just saying that contentment is about where you are in life, on every level. Contentment is being happy with where you are right now. Now, we in this society, we're trained to be happy when we get somewhere, okay? I'll be happy when such and such happens. I'll be content when this finally happens to me. And the struggle goes on so long, and we become so addicted to the struggle that I don't know about you, but for me, I sometimes, when I get to the goal, I go, well, I'm there. What's next? We don't know how to enjoy being there. What it amounts to is this society is so addicted to the struggle, it's ridiculous. If we're not struggling, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Now, contentment is being at peace with the world and yourself. It's about being, not doing. We are trained to do. You know, I got some time off. What am I going to do? It's always about, what am I going to do? And being, that just sounds downright boring. Ask any teenager. I'm not going to just sit there. I want to be, I want to do. There's nothing wrong with doing. But you need the foundation of being underneath it. Or you won't be very good at it. Peace, that's something we all aspire to, and yet we tend to, peace comes on several different levels, and we tend to be more intrigued by the idea of outer peace. I will be at peace when such and such happens. I will be at peace when so-and-so is gone, right? They're the thorn in my side. When that's over, I'll be at peace. When that's over, you'll have a new thorn, I'm sure of it. Outer peace is about the world agreeing with you. It's about the idea that I'm at peace when finally everything lines up and I haven't got any demands on me and I'm where I think I ought to be and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it all lines up and we say, okay, I can finally be at peace for a moment. That is an amazingly weak state of being. That peace is so vulnerable. It depends upon outer things. And the outer world is always going to swirl and pull tricks on you. I mean, that's its objective, to try to distract us. So the bottom line is it's going to swirl around, and you're only going to get to be peaceful for a few moments at a time. And even then, you'll live in fear that it's going to be yanked away from you at any moment, which isn't terribly peaceful. But that's outer peace. Outer peace is dependent upon outer experiences. Inner peace isn't dependent upon any of that. We don't care whether you're having a good time or everything's falling apart. Inner peace is still there. It's in your soul, you know? I got peace like a river in my soul, right? Peace like a river in my soul. What do I mean like a river? We mean it flows out of your soul into your life as long as you live in that flow. So, inner peace is the goal. Our goal is not to have everything line up in the outer world so we can be allowed to have peace. Our goal is to feel peace from within so everything in our world will eventually align. It goes the opposite way. So, contentment is when that sense of peace is flowing through you. Inner peace flows naturally from within. Doesn't depend on anything. And when you let go, it happens. It's one of those things that when you let go of your stress, you can feel peace. When you let go of hanging on so tight, everything's falling apart, and you say, well, I just felt so peaceful in the midst of it. I knew it would work out okay. Why? Because it got so bad, you knew there wasn't a thing you could do about it. You finally gave up, and suddenly you found peace every time you let go. In the end, embracing peace from within makes you powerful, whereas embracing outer peace makes you weak because they'll yank it away at any moment. Inner peace makes you powerful. If you can feel that inner peace while facing the struggle, you've actually got your best bet at succeeding. It's as if your whole being, well, you're functioning at the top of your game, okay? They used to tell people back when they typed, I remember typewriters. And on my list, my gratitude list, word processing, computers. Because I used to make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, you pull the paper out, you start over. But they used to tell typists, when you're making lots of mistakes, stop, close your eyes, go into meditation, feel that sense of peace for a moment. And now come back and type. And you make far fewer mistakes. Well, that's true of all of life. If you can live it in peace, you function at the top of your game. But more than that, you also function where your own abilities are augmented, or you actually do better than you're capable of, because something greater than you is flowing through you. Life is kind of like it was for a friend from ages ago who was, at that time, the top flute student at the University of Miami. And she was in this competition. She was describing the competition, and her teacher had chosen for her a piece which displayed her skills, but had one little section in it, because she was very accomplished. But it had one section that was beyond what she was capable of doing. And she would always stumble through that because it really required a little more skill than she had. But he thought the rest of it showed her off so well that this is the piece she needed to do. And they went out in this competition. And just before she went out, she said, God, I'm going to need some help out there. And she made that connection. And then she went out to play. She said, I was playing along. I was playing through. And I went through this section, and I was doing a really good job, and I'm playing it perfectly, but I'm getting worried because I'm approaching that section that I know I'm not really up to. And she said, as I approached that section, I literally felt something else take control of my fingers and my breath and played that section to perfection. And as I came out the other side, I felt myself take over again. That's the power of that river of peace inside of you. Something greater flows through you if you can touch peace from within. Not that outer thing where the world says, okay, we'll take it easy on you for a minute. That peace from within. Because in the end, that peace from within is God's presence. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, Jesus says. My own peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid. You cannot have been around here very long and not know what I'm about to say. There were 3 qualities in which Jesus put my in front of them. They were so important, he wanted you to understand. You will concentrate on my, and the first was peace. My peace. Second was love. Abide in my love. Third was joy. That my joy may be in you, and your joy may be full. These are the three qualities that essentially become the basis of the spiritual path. We think it's all about following the rules. It isn't. I mean, they help. The real path is based on these three qualities: peace, love, joy. If you're following all the rules and you don't understand these qualities, you're getting nowhere. This is what it's all about. That's why Jesus said, they will know you're my disciples not by the fact that you're carrying around a Bible, because they didn't have those in those days. By your love, one for another. By those qualities. I got peace like a river in my soul, right? Well, 2 weeks ago we did joy, right? And in that one I quoted the song. You got joy like a fountain. Next week we'll do love. We saved it for just prior to Valentine's Day. I got peace like a river. That endless flow of peace from within. And if we can live our lives in that endless flow, we are literally empowered. Empowered. This quality can make a mundane life deeply fulfilling. People say, well, I didn't do much with my life today. Did you live it contently? In contentment? If so, you won. You succeeded. When this quality flows from within you like a river flowing into your life, it carries with it the experience of the communion with the Christ Spirit and the experience of being totally immersed in God's presence. Peace. Contentment. And it's all available from within. It's not something the world can give you. Notice he said, I leave with you my peace, not as the world gives it to you. This is Christ's peace we're talking about, that peace that comes from within. Let not your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Ecclesiastes 3:12. No, that one was Psalms, and you know it. Ecclesiastes 3:12. There is nothing better in worldly things, but for men to live in joy and do good with their lives. I got to tell you, most of us don't believe that. I didn't even a couple of years ago. I told you it was good, but nothing better. I mean, we're in it for the struggle. We're in it to get to the top. We're in it to get as far as we can go. We're here to make an impact, to leave our legacy, to save the world. And no, you aren't. Your soul is, and it's already doing that. But you're not. You're here to be content. Peace, love, joy. You know, a few years ago, I had a friend I've not literally laid eyes upon in 30, 35 years, but she lives all over the world in different places, and we email back and forth once in a while. She's one of the few who had a similar experience of encountering her Christ self that I did. So I keep that connection. And at one point I'm saying, I have to leave my legacy. I've got to put down into print what I've been saying. I've got to do my best to change the world. I've got to fulfill my purpose, and I'm not sure whether I'm fulfilling my purpose. And she said, well, I think our purpose is just to enjoy life wherever we are. I went, no, it's got to be more than that. 2 years later, I'm going, yep, she was right. Can you really let go of that and say, my purpose is to be content wherever I am? There is nothing better we can do with our lives but to live in joy and do good wherever we are. That's the description of contentment. Now, unfortunately, the key here to living in a river of peace, to living in that river of peace and contentment, is a thing called acceptance, which we really don't like. We're into the struggle. Something happens, we want to struggle and to get ahead rather than accept where we are. We want to struggle out of it. Well, I have a saying. It says, if there's a choice, choose. If not, go for it. Accept it. Embrace it. So, I'm doing cutting and pasting because I'm talking from different sections of the talk. Acceptance. Resistance, we're good at. Now, resistance is pain. Most of us, though, are very good at saying, I hate that. I just can't stand that I have to do this. I hate it when I have to do this. Okay, that's called resistance. Okay? Now, if you hate it, either don't do it or embrace it, accept it, and do good wherever you are. Be content and do good. Do you know how many people ruin their lives because they don't like the cards they were dealt, or they don't like where they have gotten themselves to, and they say, okay, it's over, that's it. You know, I'm just going to have it. The one woman that had the perfect life now and was still unhappy, and when I counseled with her, I'm saying, well, you know, I discovered it's really your ex-husband. The new one would do anything for her. But with him, it was, I intend to hate that man the rest of my life. I thought, why ruin a life over something that's not even part of your experience anymore? Let it go. You deserve that. He may not, but you do. You deserve to be free of it. You deserve to accept where you are and make the most of it, to enjoy it. He who proves worthy over a little is placed over much. By accepting where you are and enjoying it, you are not saying, I'm going to stay here all my life. You're proving you can handle what little you've got right now well. And you actually open up the opportunities for rising as quickly as possible out of it. Staying at peace gives you the best odds of succeeding. Stressing out, struggling hard, gives you the best odds at failing. If we can feel at peace while we're facing the struggle, we got our best shot. In 1 John 4:4, you are of God, my children, and he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. Well, you're a spiritual being. Could it have been said any plainer? And you're not limited to what's going on in your life right now. And real success in life is not making your impact, leaving your legacy, or saving the world. I will guarantee you, no matter what you accomplish 1,000 years from now, nobody cares. You say, well, we've got some people who made real contributions 1,000 years ago. We built legends around them, and what we say about them isn't exactly what happened anyway. Okay, the bottom line is we are not as important as we think we are in our outer selves. Now your soul, that's a different matter. Your soul's working right now. It's fulfilling its legacy. Your soul is working in conjunction with other souls. We are literally on a path that is changing humanity over 1,000 years. Your soul is saving humanity. It's little step at a time. But this outer self, Let's not get so wrapped up into it. Real success for the outer self is achieving contentment, living our lives in that flow of peace from within. So are you allowed to pursue success? Absolutely. Pursue success all you want. But don't stress out over it, or you fail even if you succeed. Fail even if you succeed. Success achieved that leaves you all stressed out, there's no value in that. Not really. So, the first thing you've got to do is figure out that he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. Your soul came here to do the work. Last week, was it, that I said, you came here for you. Your soul came here for humanity. So what's the deal? The deal is your soul is here to do the spiritual work that needs to be done, to leave its legacy. Your personal self came to hang out. So are you having a good time? Because if you're not, you're blowing it. Really, in the end, it's these qualities, peace, love, joy, that make a life worthwhile. The rest of it is just entertaining ourselves. Do good. Yeah, do good. Wherever you are. If 1, 2, 3. Okay, if it dies a second time, I have to change the batteries. Okay, here we go. The jacket has to come off. Lanny has made sure I have batteries right up here. One. Ooh. The water cup complains. Tell me, how we doing? I'm all charged up now. Maybe I'll even talk faster. Yeah, we're going to put the jacket back on. Have to be in uniform. Originally, I had the uniform because I always looked young and I had to look like I belonged in the pulpit. It's not a problem, that looking young thing anymore. That was 40 years ago. No, 45, that's right. I've been a minister for 45 years. What am I doing here? Okay. That must have been for dramatic pause. If you ever came face to face with what's inside of you, you'd never question about the importance of this outer being again. A long time ago, or 30 years ago, I did, and it was devastating. I remember being absolutely humiliated to think how important I had thought what I was doing was. When my soul, which I'd, Christ self, whatever you want to call it, higher self, that I came to know inside of me, had been doing this phenomenal work all of its life, and it left me just wanting to be part of that. But the important thing it gave me was the realization that this outer ego just plain isn't that important. And that is a big realization, that you are more than this, that he that is in you is greater than he that's in the world. And my self-esteem does not come from whether this guy does a good job or not. I know all his flaws. And every single one of us is messed up because we're here in the earth. That's the definition of earth, a place for people who are really messed up. Okay? But what's inside of us is not messed up in any way, shape, or form. And peace eventually comes with connecting with what's inside of you. While this being's hanging out and doing whatever's here. I developed a thing I do lately. It's called, I'm on vacation. My soul's doing the work. I'm on vacation. So I get up every morning and say I'm on vacation. You know, a couple of years ago when I was driving to, was that really just last year? Okay, last year I was driving to Colorado. And I usually go with my truck loaded to the hilt with every tool I've ever had in my life so I can work on my parents' place that my sister and I have inherited up in the mountains. And here I am. We had a blowout. I had a blowout, and I'm on the side of I-10. And I'm sitting there going, oh, my God. And I went, hey, wait a second. You're on vacation. Who cares? You can sit on I-4 for 4 hours in the middle of nowhere. No, it wasn't I-4. I-10. That has some places that are truly remote. In any case, you can sit on I-10, and if you have to spend the night in this little town called Crestview, is that it? Okay, Crestview. You're on vacation. You'll get a motel there. You'll just be vacationing in Crestview while you get this fixed. So I was able to handle all these stressful situations without too much trouble. I'm on vacation. So I suddenly realized I need to apply that to what's going on in my life right now. I'm on vacation. I'm just here to hang out anyway. I'm just here to do whatever there is to do around. I'm attending this movie or that movie or the other movie, and I'm even choosing which movies I'm attending. I seem to be attending a weird movie with my microphone today. There we go. Maybe I won't strangle myself every time I turn my head now. So can you say you're on vacation? If it's not that important, if this is not real work when I'm struggling to get ahead in life, but I'm on vacation, I'm here to have a good time, you can afford to be content with where you are. You can afford to do well right where you are. You can afford to put up with, to accept whatever you have to face. Yeah, I'm on vacation. This is just entertainment, guys. And the problem is, we don't always choose wonderful movies. I mean, think about it. What kind of movies do you choose? Some people go to romances, some go to comedies, some go to adventure films, some go to tearjerkers. And others, God forbid, go to horror films. It's all entertainment. We do it in the name of entertainment, and everything you're doing out there is being done in the name of entertainment. You're keeping the outer self busy while your soul does the real work. So you can afford to say, I'm on vacation, and just choose to have a good time. You say, but this is not getting me to the top or even saving the world. Yeah, but if you're content, you've actually made a huge contribution to humanity. Very few people are content. And we need to be. So, here we go. She said I was the spiritual engineer, and she cursed me when she said, and he'll add an extra hour. I will add an extra 5 or 10 minutes. I'm a spiritual engineer because you won't leave here without steps. It's the way my mind works. So here we go. Practices for how to find peace within and immerse yourself in the river of God's presence. And the first is embrace contentment. Dwell in well-being. That's what we did a little bit in meditation this morning, right? You see, well-being's inside of you anytime. Your body can be hurting. If you can get past the pain, you can feel well-being in the body underneath the pain. You can feel well-being anytime you like. That's something that comes out of your soul and comes into your outer self. So can you do it right now? Close your eyes. For a moment, can you just get past the outer annoyances of body and life? And underneath it, feel well-being. Can you feel content in this moment? You can strive in the next. Can you feel content just to be in this moment? And then there's number 2, which, by the way, you can open your eyes. Practice being rather than doing, and just enjoy being. This was going to be meditation, probably is our best shot at this one. You need a little bit of time every day just to be. We spend a lot of time doing. We need a foundation under it. And that foundation happens when you are being who you are in this moment. I am. You can actually follow it. You relax, you let go, be there. And just affirm, I am. Our intellect wants to put something behind that. I am this or that. No. I am. Can you feel pure being? So spend some time in meditation doing that every day is number 2. Number 3, learn to generate a feeling of peace from within whenever you need it. And I got to tell you, to do this, we've got to learn to generate that feeling while things are going fairly well. Because if you wait until you're in the middle of the worst catastrophe you've ever been in to start saying, I am at peace, you may have a hard time getting there, okay? But if you've been practicing, peace, be still, and you listen for that feeling behind it, then when you need it most, you're going to be able to say it. Years ago, I was in Miami, so it must have been 40 years ago at least. There was a woman there, she was a very good Unity student, who told the story that she had had a heart attack in the middle of the night. Now, she did a very stupid thing. She decided she didn't want to wake her husband. She didn't want to wake anybody, didn't want to go to the hospital in the middle of the night, so she lay there and for 4 hours, she said, peace, be still. She thought, I wonder if I can heal this. She was able to let the pain let up. Didn't disappear, but it did let up. And in the morning, about 6 o'clock or whatever, she says, dear, I think I'm having a heart attack. I think I need to go to the hospital. He says, what? They end up at the hospital. The doctor gives her the tongue lashing for having waited so long before she came in, and then says, however, you have no damage. And I have to believe that's because you spent that entire time trying to be as calm as you could, declaring, I am at peace. Peace, be still. Wow. Well, it's a tool to be in our tool bag. Number 5, learn to accept where life takes you. We're really good at saying, I hate it. I can't stand this. I don't want to be here. And if you have a choice, choose. And if you don't, embrace it. How's that go? Matthew 5:41, whoever compels you to carry a burden for 1 mile, go with him 2. Make it yours. If you're compelled, if you have no choice. You can either go kicking and screaming the whole way, and all you're going to do is drag it out and make it miserable, more miserable than whatever you're imagining. Instead, embrace it. Make it yours. Yeah, I'm going to have a good time. Let's take this thing for 2 miles while we're at it. Let's go for it. Make sure it's your choice. Life never can force you into anything. So accept it, embrace it, and do good. Isn't that the way the scripture went? Say, I'm on vacation. This doesn't really matter. I'll watch this movie. I don't know why I've chosen this one, but hey, there must be some entertainment value in it. I chose this. You say, no, I didn't. Well, you probably had 2 choices. The one choice was not to do whatever you're required. But I'd lose my job. Everything was a mess if I didn't do this. He says, well, okay, but you still chose. So quit resisting. This is your choice. Embrace your choices. Number 6. Learn to let go to find peace and contentment. You won't get there by struggling. Learn to let go. You can start by releasing stress. Relax, let go. You don't have to hang on to this. You don't have to, but these personalities, they get real attached to things. I can't let this go. I intend to hate that man the rest of my life. And I'm going to ruin the rest of my life over him. I don't think you're chastising him over this. So learn to just let it go. You say, how do I do that? Well, I've sent people home with the instructions. Just say, I release, over and over and over. Now, one person came back and said, that was really effective. I really got to where I felt I could let it go, but I had to keep saying, I release, because we keep wanting to take it back. I release, I let it go. Now, the mystical end of letting go is phenomenal. This is a practice that has no bottom level to it. It goes as deep as you want to go. You can follow letting go all the way to your soul, all the way to God, all the way to illumination, whatever it is you want to call it. Letting go is one of the paths. So we start by letting go of things in the outer world, but the truth is, the more you can let go of, the deeper you go within yourself, until you're face to face with that being. That in the end you say, at least I did. I said, what are you doing in here? And I suddenly realized, oh my God, you're who I really am. You're me. Until you come face to face with that soul within. Number 7, and yes, I am finishing up soon. Learn to do everything, even the difficult tasks, while feeling peace. You're not going to sit at the top of a mountain forever. Every rishi knows the real power is not sitting on top of the mountain and meditating in samadhi. The real power is when you take that which you have and you go back down into the marketplace. So yeah, you're going to do things with your life. You're going to succeed. Some of you are going to change the world. You probably won't stay changed forever, but some of you are going to change the world. But that's probably not the most important thing you will do. The most important thing you will do is feel peace. Feel contentment while you're doing it. If you can feel that flow of peace as you feel the struggle, you got your best shot at really making a difference. And that leaves you at number 8. Explore Christ's peace. Remember, he said, my peace. That's God's presence within you as peace. The peace that passes all understanding, not the outer stuff that you understand, things worked out so I can feel peaceful. God is peace. If you can find true peace within, you have found God within. And in the end, that's the final challenge. So, content. We think of people who are as content as people who lets life roll right over them, and that is not so at all. It takes tremendous strength to realize contentment. And when you realize that contentment from within, you can go out into the world and meet anything the world can throw at you, knowing that which is in me is greater than anything in the world. So let's close our eyes. Father, give us the strength to touch this peace, to unleash that river of peace from our soul, and to live in it, even as we go through the struggle of the outer world. Thy will be done through each and every one of us. Amen. The ushers will come forward. We'll prepare for our offering.